Good morning. Good morning. It's exactly 8 hours, and we are here this morning. Welcome to this energizing edition of our free mentorship academy on the StreamYard sessions. I am Dr. Sunshine Sylvia, or just call me Sunshine, your host and entrepreneurship wisdom storyteller. Today we are telling our stories one of the best stories that I have, to tell. We are a team. Those ones that are joining us for the very first time, we're a team of 4 who has come together to pay for this platform to help others as we give back to our communities that follow us. We have been here for the last 5 years and we are still counting. It's amazing how time flies. That we've been here for 5 years and we are counting those 5 years, 1st of April, but we are still counting. It started, it's an amazing thing to think that even when you think about it, it's like, oh wow, this is so real. So Monday we have Brave Water. Tuesday is today with me, Dr. Sunshine. Wednesday we have the marketplace and we have shared it with the young generation to share their story.
Lost you, Sunshine.
You've lost me. I am still here. I had actually lost you. Maybe it's your internet, but I'm still here. So we, on Wednesdays, I was just saying, on Wednesdays we have given, it's a marketplace where we have given it to the young generation to share their stories with Digi Business, Mompreneur, Sampa, leading her peers. Thursday, we have Dr. Nelly Kangwa with wisdom stories from bedroom to boardroom. And Friday is reserved for healthy tips. Prevention is better than cure. Today, we are taking, this huge step in just talking about something close to the hearts of every go-getter. And I mean every go-getter wants to achieve success. Every go-getter. This is how smarter goals, when pursued with persistence and resilience, really do yield the desired results. Remember, we've been saying we all have 20% of our activities, which will give you 80% of your desired results. And this is what we talk about when we talk about smarter goals. So our theme is simply, it is very simple but powerful. And it says, it takes time to win, but with consistency and resilience, winning is possible. And to bring this to life, we are joined by an incredible guest, Ruth Mugala, whom we proudly say uplifter. She's so amazing and we're so happy that she's here. She's been having a hell lot of things. She's been traveling, she's been holidaying, she's been mourning, she's been just everything. She's just been up and about. And you'd think that her smarter goals will suffer, but we're going to hear how she's maintained her smarter goals. So Ruth has undergone the transformative mindset change process and will be sharing real life smarter goals she set and how they are now bearing fruit. Because she stayed on course, because she kept her lane, she kept on doing things that really must uplift, herself. So Ruth is passionate about personal growth. She's resilient and living intentionally. Through the mindset change process, she committed to smarter goals that aligned with her purpose. She's here today to share not just her goals, but the grit it took to see the first signs of success. So these are just some of the things that Ruth does, but she'll also add herself to it. So, Ruth, here we go. It's your time. It's your time. You can talk about anything, from, real life smarter goals and the impact that they've had, with your life. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sunshine. It's a pleasure to be here once again. I just love it to be here supporting the cause of this wonderful team of people that come and build into our lives, basically as a community service. They don't charge us for all these opportunities. We get to hear and learn stuff through this forum. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Sunshine, with the entire team that you lined up that presents every week faithfully for the last 5 years. That's quite something. On behalf of all the listeners, I just want to say thank you to all of you. My name is Ruth Mogala. I've been here before. For those of you who've been consistent in logging into this wonderful live stream presentations. And today I've been invited to come and talk about my experience on setting smarter goals and the power of persistence and resilience, because these are very, very important aspects in setting up our goals. I have been involved in a lot of things. Like I said, I'm a chartered accountant. I used to say I'm retired, but coming from an accountant's conversion in Rwanda last week, we're told, no, you don't retire, you just change careers. So I have not retired, but I've changed careers from a full-time chartered accountant to now part-time and running my own things, and also participating in talks such as I am on right now today, just to inspire other people from our own experiences. I must say I have been a beneficiary of the mindset change process that is offered by SBM. And I was a student. I finished the course and I've been involved in facilitating here and there. And I must say it has really changed my life, and permanently so, in a lot of ways, because like I said, I'm a chartered accountant with many years of experience, and I've lived quite long on planet Earth by God's grace, over 60 years old. And I felt like I'd almost arrived until I was challenged at one of the classes that I attended with SBM, the same mindset change process, where I was told, you never stop learning. I knew that theoretically, but not practically, until it was demonstrated to me using the usual demonstration that I've also presented on this team, how we can continue learning, unlearning, relearning, and applying what we have learned in our lives. And that is where I am right now. Even now, I'm still learning. Yesterday, I learned a lot attending one of the
Okay, we can't
change
hear
process.
you. Okay.
I'm back now. Yes, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So I want to.
Okay. You started breaking when you said you attended yesterday. You yes.
The different goals.
We can't hear you. So Ruth was talking about how she's been challenged and how she continuously get challenged in the place of where we are, as as we are dealing with smarter goals, and she was just about to share about what she was doing, what we were doing yesterday, and it was such an amazing a thing to experience, where we just shared one of the we were doing introduction to mindset change, so we just shared on how people can move from where they are to where they want to be if they are consistent in their goals, and if they really make life easy for them by just following a system. So it's this system that we have that really makes things to start to happen. So I see Ruth is back, and
yes, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure why I'm having challenges. So basically, I just wanted to define quickly what all this is all about. When we talk about setting or winning with smarter goals, what are goals? Goals are basically the things we aim for, things we desire to accomplish, our ambitions, things that we put our efforts to in order to achieve. So you set up these goals. And then we have the power of persistence and resilience. Why? Let me define first persistence. Persistence basically means these are two words that are very crucial, rather, in achieving our goals and overcoming challenges. As you pursue your goals, you realize there are challenges that you will overcome or encounter that you need to overcome. And so it is important that we define these two words so that as we pursue our goals, we are mindful of what we need to be doing in order to win in achieving our goals. So what does it mean to be persistent? Persistence is defined as a steadfast pursuit of a goal, despite its obstacles and setbacks that may come along accomplishing the goal. Or it is the determination or effort to achieve a goal without whatever the circumstances. And resilience is the ability to bounce back from an adversity, the ability to spring back or recover quickly from a very negative experience. For instance, a loss of a job. When we lose the job, definitely you will be locusts. For a moment, it will hit you hard because you don't know where your next income will come from. But when you quickly, reposition yourself, have a plan B, and pick up all your broken pieces and move on, that ability to quickly recover is called resilience. So our smarter goals can be accomplished by ensuring that we have the power of persistence and resilience. For those of us of faith, we know it becomes much easier because you commit everything to the Lord. God himself has the ability of helping us pick up from a low point in your life when you've lost all that you were hoping to use to accomplish your goals. Maybe it was a spouse who was supporting you, maybe it was a parent who was supporting you, and now they are gone, and you think your goals can now die and die with them. No, God gives you the ability to pick up and move on to the next level. And the time it takes to do that, how quickly you do that, is called resilience. And for those of us of faith, we have an encouragement from scripture, Isaiah 40:31, which says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So even when negative things come in, when setback comes in, you will not give up. You will not faint. You will not just throw in the towel. You'll just strengthen, probably even come out stronger, emerge stronger than you were before you found or encountered these setbacks. So now let's go back to our smarter goals. What are these smarter goals? I know a lot of us have time and again set up what we call resolutions. At the beginning of every year, you have a resolution. Not a bad thing to do. Things you plan to do in the following year. Because you look back in the year past and say, where did I not do too well? We don't call it failure because we don't believe in failure. It's where you didn't do too well. Or what did I do well? What can I improve on in order to have a better year this year? It's a very good thing to do. And once you've gone through the mindset change process, you may even come across what we call the wheel of life, which will help you also assess how you are faring in your life. Now, when you look at the wheel of life, the one that presents under SBM is actually a 6 area components of your life. And these are family and home, financial and career, mental and education, physical and health, social and cultural, and spiritual and ethical. So when we look at these areas of your life, this program enables you to assess how am I faring in dividing my life, my time, in accomplishing things in all these areas of my life so that I am accomplished, so that I feel fulfilled. When you do that, you'll discover that there are certain things you probably need to change, certain things you need to be doing differently, certain things you have to introduce in your life to do. And once you do those help you now set up your goals. What are the things that I'm going to do in order to get better in these areas of my life? And these are the goals that we are defining here, things you are aiming to do. Once you've set up those things, then you start running your life every day, having those goals in mind. Now that's where the smarter comes in. A lot of us are familiar probably with the SMART goals, which I was familiar with. The smarter goals came in when I attended this program. And the SMART goals, let me define what are SMART goals. So when you're setting up these things that you desire to do, things you like to pursue in your life intentionally, you have to understand how to set these goals up. So when you're setting up a goal, let's give an example of myself. I'll use it as an example. Sorry, I keep going on and off. What goals? One of the goals that I had was I was in my 50s. When I turned 60, I already had a goal. I said retirement home, and I already had a picture of what home I was looking for, a beautiful upstairs home with so many bedrooms, worth so much money, over 3 million. And this was, and I sort of, carried on my life every day, be smarter. So they were smart goals in the sense that they were S standing for sustainable, specific. I had a specific desire to have a retirement home. That is specific. It would last the test of time.
Okay, she'll show up. So she's saying she had smart goals, but she had to make them smarter, because sometimes your goal can be specific, but is your goal sustainable? And I think that's where she was coming from. Is the goal sustainable? It can be specific, but probably it cannot be sustained. So those are some of the things that she was talking about. Okay, all right.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Okay. So that big goal of
a big sustainable, and it can be specific, but it may not be something that can. Yes, and then measurable. I had the value to it. Being an accountant, I had already done an estimate of how much it would cost me to have such kind of a home. It was overwhelming. When my architect drew it up, my quantity surveyor quantified it, it came to something like 4-5 million kwacha. And I was like, wow, measurable, yes. Was it realistic, sensible? Looking at the time, I gave myself 10 years to achieve this. So it made sense. I said, yeah, 10 years, the 4-5 million. If I work hard together with my spouse, I'm sure we could would make it. And then time bound. Remember, I said I was in my 50s, and I said, when I turn 60, I must move in my retirement home. So it had a time limit. It wasn't open-ended. When you do open-ended goals, you find yourself consoled by not achieving them because you keep thinking, I'll do it. But when it's time bound, you'll be working harder because you know that time is not on your side. You only have so many more years to go before you accomplish your goal. So I had a 10-year period to work with, and that's where I ended. But when I attended there was an ER to it, meaning smarter. I only knew SMART goals. So smarter meaning the goals must be excited with almost anything and everything. It's sunshine, very energetic. And also energetic, exciting and energetic. And also you have to review your goals in accomplishing your goals. Goals have risks. In accomplishing your goals, you will undertake or encounter some risks. So that's the definition of the SMARTer goals: specific, sustainable, measurable, realistic, time-bound, exciting, energetic, and able to review and factor in the risks, consider the risks that you may encounter. So these are the SMARTer goals that, these are the definitions of the SMARTer goals acronym. And so bringing it back to myself, I had this goal that I had set up to own and move into my own house, retirement home, I called it, upstairs by March 2021 with about 4 to 5 million. Then I started now saying, how do I, it looked overwhelming. But then we are taught through this mindset change program that you need to now prioritize these goals and also classify them between short term and long term. So what I had was a long-term goal. Now, to accomplish that long-term 10-year goal, I need to break it down into small bite-sized pieces, a year at a time. So that goal was broken down into 1 year at a time. So the first year, what did I need to do in my first year of accomplishing that goal? I hope you can hear me. I can't see sunshine. Can I have a thumbs up if people can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. It's a network issue. Please continue.
Okay. Thank you. So you segment that 10-year plan into annual plans. Even the annual plans, you now divide them into monthly plans. Remember, I said the figure of about 4 million. So being an accountant, I divided 4 million by 10, gave me 400,000 per year. 400,000 divided by 12 gave me about 330 something thousand per month. So that was now becoming exciting. I was like, yeah, I can do it. 30,000 became something more easy to attain. So I said, I need to chase up a few consultants jobs. I need to chase up a few tenants, and started setting aside money towards that, such that by the time we were getting closer, we had raised quite a considerable amount of money, and were able to put it down on the property. First, we bought the plot, and then started now to build. Now, before building again, I reviewed my goals. I said, these goals that I've set to build an upstairs, 5-6 bedroomed house, I realized that was not going to work. Now I faced a setback. Setback was my dream house wasn't going to be attained in the way I wanted it. I didn't give up. Remember, I said resilience and persistence. I said to myself, I still want to have a retirement home, but maybe not the one that I wanted initially. So I called my architect. We sat down and I said, my budget is so much. Do you think we'll make, okay, we were caught up also by inflation. Let me bring in another setback. Inflation, the prices of cement had doubled from the time I drew my dream house. And so I called my architect. I said, now the price of cement has doubled. And then I've only got so many more years to go, 3 more years. I'm not sure I'm going to manage this so many bedroomed upstairs house. Then he said, okay, can you tell me what size of a house you're looking into now? Then we said, forget about upstairs. My husband kept saying upstairs will cost you 2 or 3 times as much. So I said, I would just want a bungalow, a flat house. Yes, that we can do. I reduced the number of bedrooms. I reduced the number of self-contained. And then it came to something which sounded more manageable. So you see, we took upon ourselves, my husband and I, the time to review our goal. By the way, this goal was a shared goal with my husband, although mine was the more ambitious one. His was more realistic. And so we met halfway until we came up to what was attainable. And so my architect saying, yes, now with the risks that we faced, we had to downsize our goal in order to still accomplish the goal. We didn't give up our goal. No, because we would have easily said, you know what, throw in the towel, we won't manage. But we refused to give up. We said we still have a goal to move into our retirement home, but then the size of the house changed, the design changed, my other things had to change in order to still make this goal realizable and attainable. So I put in more energy now because I realized, okay, things can change. So I became more energized in order to make sure I'm not caught up again with this inflation challenges of price rising and so on and so forth. But it still kept it exciting because this is going to be my home when I retire. And so we pushed it until, God willing and by God's grace, we were able to build our house. And guess what? I moved in at the age of 60. Before it's even completely finished, I was in my house. My husband refused to move because a lot of things were undone. And he refused to have me move the bed. So I moved in with my blankets. I slept on the floor for 2 months on the floor because I still wanted to accomplish my goal. So there I was, come 60. My birthday found me in my new house. Not what I'd wanted earlier. I made a few adjustments because circumstances changed. And that's what happens when you set your goals. Don't expect everything to go business as usual, everything to be rosy. No, I was able to work around my obstacles. I identified what my obstacles were, and I worked towards preventing them from crushing my goals. and I found a solution. And the solution was to make strict or severe adjustments to my plans in order to accommodate my new situation. So those are the things that you need to consider when you're setting up goals. But what is important is to firstly have a goal. Every one of us has to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, I want to challenge you today. The year is not yet done. We have 6-7 months into the year end. Find yourself something that you're passionate about, something that you want to accomplish, which you've always desired to and never maybe been able to put your mind to it. Set a goal, and your goal has to be specific. Like I said, be very specific. I would like to maybe say attain my degree in law by the year 2029 and make it exciting so that I can work towards having my own law firm. Now, the risk is there's Ziale. I have a niece doing law. There's Ziale, which is a risk. Yeah, not everybody makes it. Start placing yourself in a position where you can address those risks, overcome the risks. Find out from those that have gone through Ziale before. How do you manage to get through your Ziale exams? They will teach you how to do it. And so once you already know what risks or obstacles you're likely to face, you start working towards curbing those the risks. So if you haven't yet set up a goal, I kindly implore you to kindly do so right now. Think of something. We can help you, and even through SBM, they can help you know how to set up your goals. And make sure these goals are smart goals, not only smart goals, but smarter goals. Make sure they're exciting, energetic, and be able to work through reviewing them and assessing the risks that could come with them. I hope you benefited a little bit. I'm sorry I had to rush through. I'm so scared of this on and off network, but I hope you picked 1 or 2 ideas on what we are talking about winning. I feel like I won in my setting my smarter goals. I was persistent and I was resilient. And by God's grace, I was able to achieve my goal. And now I'm smiling. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. We can only say wow and give you such a big, big hug. Oh, wow. You have heard it firsthand. Setting smarter goals is not just paper exercise. It's a journey. It's a journey of intentional living. We have heard how she actually even had to go and sleep on the floor because she was intentional. She wanted something to happen. Oh my goodness. So what Ruth has showed us is that resilience is not avoiding difficulties. It's not, it's moving through it with purpose, because, you know, she had to review, she had to revise, she had to make sure that this thing that is happening is really something that we have to always get to. Purpose, purpose, purpose. You know, when we say goal, you know, smarter goals, because a goal could be, you know, specific, but is it sustainable? This is how you have to relook. The goal is, you know, measurable, but where is the reason? What is the meaning of that goal for you? The goal is realistic, but are you really, you know, real in the thinking that this thing is going to happen, you know, for me? You say the goal is, you know, time bound. Even if it's time bound, you have to take action. You saw how Ruth was taking action on several stages where she was making things happen. She had to do, you know, to do certain things that if she just stayed, she was not going to do it. She had to make her goals exciting. You people, be excited about the things that you want. Have the energy, because when you're excited, it's like, you know, when you give a child a sweet, you excite them. This is why they actually have now to go round and round. They've got so much energy because they love what it is that they are experiencing. This is why even when we say you might have certain things that, you must have certain things that are happening in your life, you know, all goals have got a risk. You heard where she was saying there was inflation, you know, she wanted to build the upstairs house. And, you know, when she looked at her finances, she had to review those risks. And, you know, the cement doubled. So all those things, when we are setting goals, it's not a, you know, a one size fits all. That's why it's individual. Even when we are doing the exercises, it's about the individual and the things that they want. And we just help them to actually now get the steps towards what they want. What activities are they going to be doing so that they can achieve those goals? So this is what it is. So let your goal be alive. Resist them if they, revisit them if they are not the things that it is. Revisit them, stretch them, persist through them. Everything you have to have that persistence, and this is what it is. So thank you, Ruth, for being vulnerable, authentic, and generous with your story. This is what we need, because this is real. And to everyone watching, what smarter goals will you reignite today? What smarter goal are you going to reignite today? What one step will you take, no matter how small, that brings closer to your desired outcome? What is it that you're going to do today? Because the more you do that, the more you actually engage, and the more you get those successes. So share your reflections in the comments, tag someone who needs to hear this. And even after the call, you can always share, because we are empowering other people, we're exciting other people, because this is why we actually pay for this, so that if you missed all those people that follow us, our mentees, our mentors, when they follow through, they can just go on the link and rewatch. And remember all the time that it takes time to win, but with persistence and resilience, it is possible. Just like the way mindset change is. Mindset change is possible when you follow a process. So go out there and be part of the changed world, so that we can live happily. Today there's cloud, so that we had to change from the phone to Starlink. I think that's what was happening. The clouds are affecting our lighting. So all these are changes in our life, and we just have to keep on. So I had to change from Starlink to the phone, and you can imagine if you didn't have the bundles on the phone, it means the show will not take place. So thank you so much, Ruth, and everyone who has joined us. Rev, thank you for your back office engagement, and we're so grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate this opportunity, and I hope everybody who's been listening and will listen to this recording later will be inspired and will be determined to set smarter goals for their lives. Thank you, and thank you, Reverend Walter, once again
and
for
I'm
making this
profiling you
happen.
on the link in my story for today. It's about Uplifter. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. God bless.